So this is Draw My Life by Abigail Williams, but it's not really my life. It's just drama because there's always drama going on and it's really annoying. Anyways, this is me. I'm beautiful. That's Abigail me. And that's my ugly cousin Betty. She cries like all the time. That's my Uncle Paris and his wife, Mrs. Paris. She's okay, I guess. And then we have two slaves, and one of them is Tituba. Tituba is pretty cool because, like, she has black magic and stuff. And so it's really easy to, like, fool Betty into just going along with whatever I want. You know, and Betty's always sick, like, all the time, so it's really annoying. And so we can never do, like, anything. But then again, it's kind of nice because usually we don't have to do, like, any chores. Except for, like, stay out of everybody's way and don't, like, bug anyone. Which is really nice. So basically, we're always, like, divided up because my Uncle Paris is always working on his Bible stuff. And Mrs. Paris is always, like, in the kitchen doing things. So we're always stuck with Tituba, who sometimes she's not very nice to us, but that's okay because she's kind of cool. So basically, she, like, has these, like, voodoo dolls and, like, black magic stuff that she always does, and she's, like, teaching us about it. She's always going off, and she's like, oh, I'm from Barbados, and I'm not from around here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, pretty cool. So, of course, like, everybody else who's, like, bored in town comes out and over to our house, and, like, there's 12 of us that cram into our house and, like, watch Tituba do all her voodoo stuff. Okay, so since I'm, like, going to heaven, because that's what the Day of Doom book told me, I can pretty much do whatever I want because I'm already going to heaven, so there's really no need to even, like, worry about being a good person, so I can just mess with everybody. Like, I'm not even worried about it. Whatever. I don't care. Okay, so basically, the devil's kind of neat, and I'm really interested in it, so I decided to do a little bit of an experiment, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's pretend to be witches, like, be bewitched by witches. That's okay. So I'm like, be sick, Betty. And she's like, no, okay, whatever. So basically, she gets all sick, and, like, her dad's all upset, and we're just like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, I'm sick too, and look at me go. I'm really flexible. So they're freaking out, which is hilarious. So I tell everybody in town to be sick too, besides Ann Putnam. She's all like, no. And her mom's like, you're my only surviving child. And she's like, dude, I know. And then her mom's like, you have to be perfect, and you have to, like, find all the witches. And she's like, okay, because they've killed your brothers and sisters. Just go do it. So now we're all pretending to be sick, and everybody in the village is, like, freaking out, and we're like, oh, it's funny. Except for freaking Betty gets all stupid, and her dad keeps asking her, and everybody keeps asking her, who did this? And then she's like, oh, it was Tituba. So then the rest of us have to think of something to say. So then, you know, we started naming off people like Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne. You know, which is fine because Tituba's got, like, her black magic stuff, and she's not really, like, from here, so that's good. And then, you know, Mrs. Good, she's all, like, trampy, and she smokes and stuff, and Mrs. Osborne's just really old. And again, like, I'm going to heaven, so I don't really care. I can, like, who cares? Like, I'm going to heaven. I already know I'm going to heaven, so not a problem. So then they, like, get these trial things going, and I'm like, okay, this is a lot of work. But Tituba's actually kind of smart, because she says, no, like, Good and Osborne are the ones who made me do it, and then, like, Sarah's Good is all like, no, it's not me, I didn't do it, you're dumb. And then she's like, I was a sick old lady, and then we, like, keep freaking out because, you know, like, we're possessed by the devil. But we didn't really realize, like, what would happen. So I mean, like, Sarah Good got hung, and, like, Mrs. Osborne died in jail, and, like, 200 people actually got roped into this. And I mean, that's kind of a lot of people, and, you know, by this point I'm kind of like, whatever, I'm done. So yeah.